What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you do enjoy the video, do me a huge favor by leaving a like on the video. It really helps out with the video as well as the channel. Yeah, man, we is back with yet another banger, man. We is going to be doing the comparison between the SH Figuarts Boy from the Future Trunks and, of course, the SH Figuarts Boy from the Future Trunks bootleg. And we're just going to be comparing the two to see if the bootleg can even hold up against the actual official figure and going over some of the similarities as well as some of the differences. And before we do jump into it, do be aware that this is the reissue version of the Trunks figure. This is not the original release. Just keep that in mind when you do watch this video. And yeah, man, with that being said, jumping straight into it, as you can see off rip, both the boxes actually do look very similar. Obviously, with the official figure being on the left, it does have the actual Figuarts and Trunks name on the side of the box, as well as all the company logos, as well as you do get the actual quality control sticker right here in the corner. As compared to the bootleg figure right here on the right, you do not get the name or Figuarts or anything like that. You also do not get any of the company logos at the bottom. Now, it is interesting that there is kind of a circle right here. It almost symbolizes where the exact location of that quality control sticker would sit at, which I definitely do find interesting. I don't know if Tamashi, when they make these boxes, they have a specific area to put them at. It's already marked where the sticker does go, because if you look, that's literally the exact area where that sticker would go. Nonetheless, like I said, this box does not have quality control sticker or anything like that on it. It also, as far as the color and the quality of the image on the box itself, it is very low compared to the actual official box. I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but this is very faded compared to the actual official figure. Yeah, man, not too much of a difference on the front of the box. Again, you're just missing those logos at the bottom and the quality control sticker, and of course the name of the figure on the side. Again, not too much of a big difference on the side of the box. As you can see, again, got a couple differences on the side of the box. As you can see on the side, they do have SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Trunks on the side, just like this actual official one. However, on the bootleg, we do not again have the actual name of the figure on the side of the box. Now, coming into this side, we do have the exact same thing on both boxes. However, we do got the same problem of the quality of the image being super low and the colors being real faded. Again, with the back of the box, we kind of had the same issue as the front. You do get all the product images of the figure itself, just like the actual official one. However, again, the images are super low quality and faded. As well as, again, at the bottom, we do not have any of the warnings or anything that you do have on the official box. Now, there really isn't too many differences between the two, but there definitely is a big enough difference to tell the difference between the two. You can obviously tell that this is a bootleg figure compared to the official Figuarts figure, so you definitely, if you've seen this thing, would know automatically it's fake. And yeah, man, not too much going on the outside of the boxes. With that being said, let's get into the figures itself. And as you can see with both figures, we do get a really good amount of accessories with both figures. They both do have the exact same accessories. I will say for the bootleg, some of them are slightly off compared to the official, but nonetheless, they do actually have the same amount of accessories and same accessories. Start off with the very first one, we do have the actual extra head sculpt, the base form head sculpt. Now, I ain't even gonna lie to you, my personal opinion, with the bootleg head sculpt being on the right and the official being on the left, I think I like the bootleg head sculpt a little bit better, honestly. I think that's just my personal preference, for the simple fact, I think since they used the mold of the official, it obviously came out slightly smaller than this figure. And with that being said, for some reason, I feel like this head just looks to me more like actual Trunks compared to the official one. I was just saying this in the review I did yesterday on the official one, that something is just slightly off as far as him looking like Trunks. I just cannot put my finger on it, but I definitely would say my personal preference, I say that the bootleg look better to me. Y'all let me know down in the comments if I'm tripping or not. Again, this one is the official and this one is the bootleg. As you can see, they really did do a good job on the bootleg. The only negative I see on the bootleg is you can see how rough the paint is on the actual hair compared to the official over here on the left. It is slightly sloppy at the top, but it's not too bad compared to the official. Yeah, man, like I said, they did really good with this face sculpt. Like I said, I prefer this one, the bootleg face sculpt, over the official one, which is crazy to me. Hey, yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments if I'm tripping or not. But nonetheless, you do have the extra head sculpt and they both are pretty much the same. The second biggest accessory we do have that I do want to talk about is, of course, the sword itself. It obviously does have the strap that attaches to it over here on the official one. Just haven't gotten around to putting it on yet. But on the bootleg one, I actually did super glue this a long time ago. Considering the bootleg right here on the right had the exact same issue that I do have with the official one. The actual straps do not like to stay plugged into the holes on the actual sword. I did end up having to actually super glue this one on this figure, but nonetheless, I would say the color of it is slightly off, but I mean, it doesn't look too bad compared to the official one. As far as the actual sword itself, this is the official one over here on the left. This is the bootleg on the right. As you can see, just like most things on the official one, it is slightly bigger than the fake one. Again, like I said, I feel like that's because they did use the actual mold of the official one. But nonetheless, the bootleg sword over here on the right side right here does not look that bad compared to the official one. There's, of course, a little little bit of roughness on the paint, as you can see, compared to how smooth the official one actually is. There's no type of run. Well, I do see a couple scuff marks on the side. It's definitely not nearly as messy as this bootleg one right here on the right. As you can see, it has a bunch of scuffs on the side of it. As far as the actual metallic silver paint, I would say that the left one, to being the real one over here, would be a little bit more shinier than the bootleg one. Again, even the paint isn't too off, but nonetheless, you do have the actual swords with both figures. As far as the extra added hair piece, they are again going to be the exact same. However, I will say again, with the bootleg, it is actually roughly painted compared to the official over here on the left. You definitely can see that as far as the actual quality of it. You can see how super messy and chunky and runny this paint is compared to how smooth this one is, which I mean, you kind of can expect it for the simple fact that this does not pass through any type of quality control compared to this. That's why you get this super sloppy paint compared to the actual smoothness of the official one. But nonetheless, on both figures, you do get the extra hair piece. As far as the extra face plates, we are going to knock them down really quick. Again, the official on the left, the fake is over here on the right. And again, honestly, not too bad. Obviously, the left one is definitely done a little bit smoother. As far as the 3D print on the bootleg, it's really not that bad compared to the official. However, considering on the official figure, he is supposed to be looking off to the right slightly. I would say on the bootleg, they definitely could have did a little bit better because it doesn't look like he's looking off to the right. It just kind of look like one eye is kind of lopsided. Again, overall for the bootleg, it's not too bad again compared to an actual official Figuarts figure. I wouldn't say that that is too bad compared to the official, and I really am surprised how smooth the actual 3D printing is on the bootleg compared to this one. But nonetheless, you do pretty much get the same exact face sculpt with both figures. Now, the second faceplate we do get for both figures is the yellow face. I would say on both of them, it looks absolutely horrible, either the official or the bootleg. To me, I would definitely say Tamashi could have did better on the official one. Regardless, it just looks bad. And then again, of course, with them copying the actual mold of the official figure, it does carry over to the bootleg. But honestly, to me, I feel like they kind of fixed the problem with it being smaller. The eyes are brought closer together. Honestly, in the eye area, I would say the bootleg looks a little bit better because this one just looks super weird in the eyes. It's a little bit spread apart. Plus, it looks like one of the eyes over here on the left side is kind of further down than the other eyeball compared to this one that doesn't have that issue. I would say the yellow mouth on the official one right here is definitely done and executed better than the fake one over here on the right. But again, for bootleg, not too bad compared to the official, considering, like I said, the official looks weird as it is. But nonetheless, you do get these two extra face sculpts with both figures. And the last face sculpt we do have to take a look at is the teeth gritting face. Again, the bootleg over here on the right looks a little bit better to me than the official one on the left. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because the eyes are brung in closer together, so it makes it look a little bit better. I ain't gonna lie, I definitely think I like this one a little bit better than this one. Obviously, this one's way cleaner than the one on the right, and you can honestly see that with how messed up that eye is on the right side of this face. But I mean, like I said, I feel like I like this one a little bit better than the official one. Nonetheless, both figures do come with the same teeth gritting face pretty much. And as far as the extra hands that do come with the figure, again, it's gonna be the same thing. They're pretty much the exact same, except for some reason, I don't know why, the bootleg hands on the side, for some reason, this hand doesn't even match up with none of these other hands. I don't know where this came from. It's not even the same type of key blast hands as these type of key. Obviously, you see it right here. That's not the same type of hand at all. I honestly don't know why that's like that or where that came from. It's a completely different color, almost like they put a different hand in the box. Nonetheless, as you can see with the hands, I don't really gotta do too much explaining, considering the fact that they're pretty much the exact same type of hands on both figures. The only real difference is they are slightly different colors, but other than that, pretty much looking at the same thing on both figures as far as extra hands. And with that being said, my final thoughts on all the accessories for both figures, I would say the bootleg definitely holds its own compared to the official. Considering my personal preference, I would say some of the bootleg face sculpts look better to me than the actual official ones. So I definitely would say it definitely holds its own compared to the official one. Obviously, with some of the bootleg accessories, they definitely have some flaws as far as paint and stuff like that. Nonetheless, overall, I would say the bootleg accessories definitely can hold their own compared to the official ones. They honestly don't look too bad. But with that being said, let's get into the figures itself. And jumping straight into the figures, man, I ain't even gonna lie, off real, I don't know why I even said it back there. I definitely for sure was tripping in that review. But when I reviewed the bootleg Figuarts trunks, I really said in that review that I think it looks exactly like the official one. That was just off of me having the official one previous to having the bootleg. During that time period, I never had them side by side, so I was just going off of memory. But I can tell you right now, I for sure was tweaking, bro, because it don't even come close. Look at the arms on this thing compared to this one. Again, with this one on the left being the official, the one on the right being the bootleg. Look at the arms compared to this figure, bro. I really don't know what what I was talking about in the review. I definitely was tweaking out. Bro, this right here is disgusting. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not saying the figure looks completely horrible. Honestly, for a $20 figure compared to something like a Dragon Stars that goes for 20 as well, I definitely would to this day say that this thing would be better than a Dragon Stars figure. But it for sure doesn't come close to the official one. There's a couple reasons I say that. One, you can see how smoothly these arms were put together compared to this, which has his joints sticking out, which makes his arms look super long compared to the official one. Two, the proportions on the bootleg are just overall off. The legs are super long with the torso being super small in size, so it just makes the figure look a little weird. And then you add the arms into that and it makes it look super weird as compared to the official over here having none of those issues. It looks perfectly proportioned. As you can see, like I said, the overall smoothness on the official over here on the left just doesn't even compare to this one. It makes the bootleg over here on the right look super bad. Now, there is a couple of differences even in the colors itself. I would say they copied the purple color perfectly, but as far as the black on the actual shirt, as you can see, this is a dark black compared to the gray on the bootleg that matches the legs, which again on the official you do not have that. And then even with the yellow on the belt and the boots, it is slightly different. Again, the bootleg over here on the right being super faded. The bootleg definitely has some type of green undertone to the yellow, which is making it look super nasty compared to the official one. And if you take a look at the paint on the hair itself, as you can see, it is super sloppy on the bootleg as compared to how smoothly it's done on the actual official one on the left. It does look really bad on the bootleg, as you can see. And yeah, man, as far as the bootleg, comparing it as far as paint detail and the overall look of it, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. It really don't come close. The colors over here on the right on the bootleg just look super faded and washed out compared to the official one. For instance, I just noticed if you bring them in for a closer look, you can see how perfectly this chest is painted. When you bring the bootleg over here, you can see that the skin tone on the chest is slightly different than the actual neck. You do not have that issue with the official one over here. As well as, again, the paint over here on the bootleg is like faded. You can see up under it where the actual molding was that gray color of the actual tank top. And of course, you don't have that on the official one. And even just the smallest little type of details, like for instance, you can see how messed up the actual molding is here. There's literally a whole entire chip missing from the plastic right there, as well as stuff like this. Nope. On the figure itself, it just looks super bad. Like you got random marks, like paint marks like this on the figure itself that doesn't come off. It's just stuck there. It just overall was done really sloppy. You could tell there's no type of quality control with this figure at all because of just how sloppy the paint and everything looks on it. Like I said, the hair itself over here is really bad compared to the official one. The official one, you do not have any of those issues at all. The official one, as you can see, is smooth all the way around with that nice satin finish on it. There's no type of roughness, run marks, anything like that, like on the bootleg. And then again, you have weird issues where they use the official figure mold, and you have situations like this where the upper part of the jacket has been shrunk and it looks super small compared to the official one, as you can see. And yeah, man, the only thing I would say that doesn't look too bad on the bootleg over here is the face itself. It's not too bad compared to the official. Definitely isn't perfect by any means, but for a bootleg at $20 figure, it's not too bad compared to this one. And yeah, man, that's pretty much gonna do it for the paint detail. I ain't even gonna lie, the bootleg is really bad with as far as like the paint detail compared to the official one. Now, the overall look at the bootleg, it could be better. Like if you end up doing customs, it wouldn't be that hard to actually fix this thing up to make it look good. If you were to replace the arm joints and then repaint this thing, I honestly wouldn't think it would look too bad. But as far as trying to compare this thing right out the box compared to the official one, it's just night and day. It's not even close. And yeah, man, with that being said, let's jump into the articulation. As far as the articulation, definitely is going to be interesting to see if it does hold up compared to the official one. Coming into the actual head, it does go up about that much. It does go down that much. He does have actual pivot in the neck itself. His arms go up about that much. He does have bicep swivel as well as double jointed elbows. He has a pivot in the wrist itself. He does have some upper movement in the torso. He does have a swivel at the waist. He does bend over about that much. Pause. He does bend back about that much. Pause again. His legs can do a full entire split if you tuck the plastic up under those pieces right there. As you can see, he does kick up about that much. He kicks back about that much. He does have a thigh swivel as well as the double jointed knees. And his feet do go down that much. They go up about that much. And you do have a toe joint, and you also do have ankle pivot. I really ain't gotta say too much about the articulation about the official Figuarts for the simple fact that I just did a review yesterday and I already said that I really like the articulation on this figure. It is really good for a 3.0 figure. But coming into the bootleg, the head does go up not at all, which that is weird that it doesn't go up at all. As far as it going down, you barely get that much, but it does go down a little bit. As far as neck pivot, you don't really get too much pivot. It's just the head swaying back and forth. It's not really any type of pivot in the actual neck itself. As far as going up, he does only get about... This right here is why you avoid bootlegs, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it just pops straight off. That's the same issue, and it's funny, that's the same arm that the original release of the official one kept popping off with. So it's for sure funny that that would happen. But as far as his arms going up, you don't get the same amount you do on the official one. You do have thigh swivel, but you do see what happens when I try to use it. You do have a ugly double jointed elbow. That is super ugly to see that joint like that compared to the official one. You have typical pivot in the actual wrist itself. As far as his torso, don't really got any type of movement, considering, like I said, they used the actual official mold, so everything's been shrunk down. Therefore, the whole entire torso and everything's just been crushed together, so it can't really move anywhere. You do have swivel in the waist. As far as him bending over, pause, he does not go over at all, really. He doesn't go back either. As far as his legs kicking up, they do kick up a good amount, just like the official. Doesn't really kick back at all, just like the official. Now, as far as his legs going out, it does, just like the official one, do a full split. If I can say that the legs on this bootleg have gotten super loose over time. They just do not hold up. It just won't stay at all. But nonetheless, as you can see, he does do a split, so it is kind of like the official one. However, if you take a look at the legs, these are definitely the legs from the Gohan 3.0 body and not that Trunks figure. Which to this day, I kind of like this design choice compared to the official one, but that's just my preference. You do have thigh swivel as well as double jointed knees. Now, I'm not going to push it, but it is in there. I'm just not going to push it because it's probably going to break 9 times out of 10. As far as the feet, they do go down about that much, which is barely. They do go up barely at all. It does have a toe joint, but it doesn't really work properly. As far as the ankle, we do actually have ankle pivot. That will pretty much wrap up the whole entire comparison. Now, off rip, what I recommend you go get this figure instead of the official one. I'm gonna tell you right now, that is definitely a big no, especially with them reissuing this figure. You was for sure better off saving up your money and going and getting the reissue, because all the QC issues that this figure did have definitely been fixed. It might have been a different story if it was the original I was comparing to this, but that isn't the case. They luckily did fix everything that was wrong with this figure, so I definitely would recommend you go pick this up. Do not grab this. You can grab this, I would say, if you was into customizing, you for whatever reason want to customize another Trunks. I would say that this figure is good for that, but it just has too many issues compared to getting this. Yeah, it's only placed at $20, but at the same time, this has way too many issues straight out the box. All the joints on this figure is definitely going to get super loose over time. And if you were to repaint it, you would end up having to actually sand down most of the areas on the figure, just off of how bad the figure was painted, like how sloppy that paint is on the hair. You would honestly have to sand that down if you wanted the figure to actually look decent. And that's me pretty much saying that this is just gonna take way too much for to get it up to par with something like this. Like I said, if you want a future Trunks figure, you could just bust right out the box. It's a good figure, it's worth the price. You just want to pull it out the box and pose it on the shelf, definitely pick this thing up. It is for sure worth it. And then if you want a Trunks figure that you want to turn into like a BoJack Unbound type of Trunks figure, then definitely pick this up for $20 and rip it apart and then customize it. Yeah, man, with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think about the figures down in the comments. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. Till then, I'm out. Stay tuned.